Leadership trait and behavior leadership theories were developed to find the best leadership style in all situations. As time went on, it became evident there was no one best leadership style for all situations. Thus, the contingency leadership theory was developed and became the third major leadership paradigm. In today's video, we will discuss contingency leadership theory and model, continuum leadership theory and model, Patho-goal leadership theory and model, and leadership substitutes theory. Contingency leadership theory and model was developed by Robert Fiedler in 1951. It is situational leadership and means it depends. It correlated to the task-oriented or relationship-oriented leader. Within it, a least preferred coworker scale known as the LPC was set to assess whether one was task-oriented or people-oriented. Within the contingency model, there was also an account for situational favorableness, which related to the relationship of the leader with the followers. Decision was made on whether the relationship was good, cooperative, or poor, or was it difficult or antagonistic. Task structure delineated whether the task was structured or unstructured. Was it routine, unambiguous, or was the standards easily understood? It also dealt with the position power of the leader. Was the position power strong or weak? Did the leader have the power to assign work or reward and punishment? The more power, the more favorable the situation. In research, contingency leadership theory was statistically weak and it met criticism because some believed there was no need to change leadership style based on the situation. Continuum leadership theory model was developed by Robert Tannenbaum and Warren Schmidt in the 1950s. It was based on a continuum from boss-centered to subordinate-centered leadership, which ranged from an autocratic leader to a participative leader. Leadership continuum model looked at each of the variables of the boss, which was dealt with the boss's experience, values, expectations, and confidences in the subordinate. It looked at the subordinate, which dealt with the follower's preferred style for the leader based on their personality and behavior. It looked at the situation, which was the environmental factors. It took considerations things such as organizational size, structure, climate, goals, and technology. Time was also another consideration taken into account. In research, the continuum leadership theory was noted as not having as much research as the contingency theory. It was criticized for being too subjective. Patho-goal leadership theory model was developed by Robert House in 1971. It explained how behavior influences performance and satisfaction of the followers. It was based on 4 leadership styles. The leadership styles included a directive leader, which provided high structure. This was appropriate when followers wanted authority leadership and had an external locus of control, and the followers' abilities were low. The supportive leader is one which provided high consideration, and it was appropriate for followers who did not want an autocratic leadership, but had an internal locus of control. The participative leader was one which included the employees' input in the decision making, and these followers had an internal locus of control with high abilities. Achievement-oriented leader would set difficult but achievable goals and had the expectation that the highest level of performance would be provided with great rewards to accomplish organizational goals. The leader would provide high directive, high support for behavior, and help followers learn what was the best way to achieve their stated goal. Research in Patho-goal theory was significantly mixed. It met criticism because some felt it was difficult to decide which style was best. Substitute leadership theory was developed by Stephen Kerr and John Jameer in 1978. It replaced the need for a leader or neutralized the leader's behavior. It involves subordinate substitute for leadership, which makes the leadership style unnecessary or redundant. Variables included providing task-oriented direction or people-oriented rather than the leaders. Leadership substitute variables that were taken into account were the characteristics of the followers, which is their ability, knowledge, experience, training, and need for independence. Characteristics of the task related to clarity, routine tasks, provision of the feedback concerning accomplishments, and also intrinsic satisfaction for completing the task. Characteristics of the organization. Was it formalized with explicit plans, goals, or defined areas of responsibility? Or was it inflexible with rigid and non bending rules and procedures? This was also good for a closely knit, cohesive work group. Research in this model was mixed, and criticism was that the leadership still existed. In my organization, the preferred organizational model is goal path leadership style, where the staff is expected to perform at their highest level with the expectation of the greatest rewards. There's generally high structure and direction with supportive consideration. The job is challenging, and the leaders help staff to learn and define what it would take to work at their highest capacity to receive the greatest reward. In conclusion, contingency leadership theory is not based on leadership trait alone. It takes into account other variables that influences the follower's behavior. These may often fit the situation, the leader, and the follower. Thank you for watching the video presentation on the contingency leadership theory and model.